The college basketball experience, Houston Cougars 2022-23 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. And from boosted parlays, to live in-game odds on every major sport, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today and bet $100. Win $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience, Houston Cougars 2022-23 season preview episode. My name is Kobe Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Wow. This team I'm very excited to talk about. I am joined by a co-host here on the college basketball experience. Give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins in West Virginia. That's no big deal. All right. Just a Hall of Fame basketball coach. Give it up for my guy. Also host of the NFL Gambling Podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Host of the Ryan and Rush show, as you see the ad in the background there. Give it up for my guy, Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good, Colby. Ready to talk a little Houston Cougars. Year number 9, Kelvin Sampson. Expectations higher than ever, man.
Yes, and as a guy that was just in Houston for a few days, talked a lot of Houston basketball with some fans, and
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Pretend it never happened, because I did have Houston winning in the what was that? The final Elite Eight?
Elite Eight against Villanova.
Yeah. Yep. I had Houston winning that game. Didn't come to fruition, but you are right, because I was talking Houston basketball all weekend. It's down there in Houston. I know I went to a Texas A&M football game, subscribed to the college football experience, but there's a lot of hype around this team, and Kelvin Sampson in 8 years is 199-70 at Houston doing it. And when you look at this, he's just doing an unbelievable job. You look year by year at how he built this thing. First off, Kelvin Sampson, fantastic coach. You've seen it at I think he would have been the guy to turn around Indiana. I know he got in trouble with some bullshit. I mean, like every other coach wasn't. I don't know, but you sit there and you're like, dude. I mean, Bruce Pearl. You look around at all these other names, or Will Wade, or I don't know. I won't even get into that, but he hops in year one at Houston, and really this was a rich program in the 80s when they had Drexler and Olajuwon, even Cadillac Anderson, if memory serves me correct. But yeah, you jump into 2015, Sampson, or 2014-15, Sampson comes in 13-19 year one. Ever since then, he's had a winning season, and not only that, it's what they've done. So 22-10, then 21-11, then 27-8, then 33-4, then 23-8, then 28-4, then 32-6. And what's amazing is he's been to the tournament 4 of the past 5 years. Would have been 5 of 5 had COVID not hit. And I think he's done this in the middle of getting some key injuries. So like this program's rolled on even with key injuries or key transfers. Caleb Mills was like the preseason player of the year, just all of a sudden up and quit the team. Now he's at Florida State, but I'm saying like that you weren't expecting that as you go along. He was the preseason player of the year. Boom, they still rolled on. You saw injuries. I don't know if it was Tremont Mark or they had injuries throughout these past couple of years, I feel like, but they've still rolled on and been great. What do you make of the Sampson era?
Yeah, Sasser and Mark go down in the non-conference, and you mentioned it. It's kind of been just building it block by block. They get into the tournament for the first time in Sampson's era in 2018, get to the round of 32, then they go to the Sweet 16 the next year, then the canceled year, then it's Final Four. Then last year, you think they're going to take a step back. They get a couple key injuries, lose a guy as well to the transfer portal when he quits, and they still go to the Elite Eight, and they're one game away from the Final Four. And you could make the argument expectations and excitement is as high as ever since the 80s when it was Olajuwon and those guys.
Yeah, no, you really can. I think like when you look at it, like this year especially, you say, hey, I mean, I think this team really might be onto something. Now they did lose some. We should talk about that because Josh Carlton, just about 12 points a game, 6 boards, 1.2 blocks. That's another thing. Their teams are always super great defensively. They're super athletic. I always feel like he's gone. Kyler Edwards is gone for just about 14.6 rebounds, 3.2 assists per game. Fabian White is gone, 12.5 points per game, just about 6 rebounds per game, 1.4 blocks. Taze Moore, or is it Taze Moore? I always forget. I think it's Taze Moore. The transfer, I believe, he was from Cal State Bakersfield, if memory serves me correct. 10.4 points per game, almost 5 boards, 1.6 steals, and he was a diamond in the rough that came in there. That's a lot to lose right there. I mean, look, that's a combined what I would say, like that's about 47, 48 points a game gone. And rebounding, a big amount of boards gone too. Why people are so high on this team? I feel like traditional years, you see a team with that much production gone. Normally you would say, let's fade this team, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the main thing that they lose with those guys is interior guys and Carlton and White. But like we saw last year when they lose multiple guys, it's just next man up. There's no excuses and people fill in and they just keep on winning down there in Houston. So I expect the same thing. And they get those guys back that were hurt to fill in. Now, Chaney's going to have to fill in the interior for those other guys, Carlton and White, that they lost. But I expect it to be next man up and the well-oiled machine to keep rolling down there for the Cougars.
Yeah, and they have brought in some key transfers in years past. But looking at this year's team, it kind of kept it pretty basic. Just Mylik Wilson coming in from Texas Tech. A shooting guard there. So that will be interesting to watch as Wilson just, played about 15 minutes a game in Lubbock a season ago, 2.5 points per game. We'll see how, cause I do believe Sampson's got a knack for finding the guy that he wants, just like we've seen the past couple of years, to fit his system and perhaps maybe flying under the radar. I got to key in on the freshman class that's coming in too, because they did something right, because all of a sudden they got 5-star Jerace Walker coming in. He's out of Florida. They also have the small forward Terrance Arceneaux out of Beaumont, Texas coming in. I mean, both those guys, and then Emmanuel Sharp coming in out of Bishop McLaughlin. This freshman class is pretty impressive. I would say what? I mean, there's a chance we're going to see solid minutes from Walker and Arceneaux, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, both are ranked in the top 50 in the country, and they don't look like freshmen coming in. They look the part, and they're going to be just meshed in with veterans around them to make it an easier process. But yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head with Walker and Arceneaux. Those guys are going to get minutes right from the beginning.
Yeah, and you mix that with some veteran talent. Jamal Shead is back, 31 minutes a game. I loved watching him play. 3 boards, just about 6 assists, 1.6 steals. Marcus Sasser, who can forget the way that he shot the 3 in some big games. 32 minutes. I remember what was that? I think his father, Jason Sasser. I've been watching college basketball so long. I remember him at Texas Tech, If that's not his father, maybe it's his uncle. I forget. But this guy about 18 points a game in 32 minutes of action a year ago. He's back. Tremont Mark, who's a stud as well. And then Reggie Chaney, who you alluded to, has got to step up and play a bigger role. Got about 12 minutes a game a season ago. Wasn't asked much to do much on the scoring front, but I do think he'll have more opportunity this season with just the sheer amount of minutes he's going to be getting. They also, Raymond Walker, who got some burn a season ago, will be in the mix. Same with Juwan Roberts. I mean, this is a deep team. And the only thing I'll say is a little short. The tallest guy on the team is 6'9", and that's Darius Bowser. And from a minutes per game thing, it's going to be Reggie Chaney at 6'8". I mean, they're playing small ball essentially, but it's working for them, right?
Yeah, no, it is working for them, and that tells me that they're probably going to switch a lot of things defensively, because you got a bunch of guys that are, like you said, between 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and then all the way up to 6'8". So, yeah, I expect them to switch a lot of things and be really good defensively again, as long as they can hold up on the battle of the boards, I think.
Yeah, and that will always be interesting to see, especially as, tournament, this team's got a lot of hype coming in. And if you were to go up against a Gonzaga or a North Carolina where they have these bigs, that could really be an issue. Something to monitor here. We're going to project the starting five for the Houston Cougars in a second here. But first, I want to tell you that the College Basketball Experience Houston Cougars 2022-23 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET's now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. And from boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, win $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Louisville. What am I talking about? I've done so many episodes today, man. I'm just speaking college football and basketball, let's hop into it. This is us guessing the starting five. Now, I'm very intrigued to see how things work out with the potential freshmen, and to see if maybe you'll see Arceneaux or Walker starting. I would imagine Walker is, but this is our us taking. I actually feel like this one might be one of the easier ones. Jamal Shead at the 1, Marcus Sasser at the 2, Tremont Mark at the 3, Walker the freshman at the 4, Reggie Chaney at the 5. Could you see any other? I mean, Arceneaux maybe, but I don't think, just because the guard play is so good here, he probably won't be starting. Maybe Juwan Roberts you could see starting. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe, but probably Walker. I mean, he's a top McDonald's All-American. So I think Walker's going to get the nod at the 4, and they'll just play small ball with this unit. And I think Mylik Willis, you touch on, is a good guy to bring off the bench. Kelvin Sampson's had success with Texas Tech transfers. I mean, Kyler Edwards just transferred out of there. He came originally from Texas Tech as well.
Yeah, no, he's been great in the portal. You said Mylik Willis. That's the Liberty quarterback. Mylik Wilson. Wilson.
Yes,
is,
Mylik Willis. Yes. Sorry, I'm still in NFL mode a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the starting 5 here. Let's take a look at the schedule here and try to project what Houston will do in the 2022. So we'll look at the 2022 part of it as they open up the season against the Northern Colorado Bears, who are pretty solid up there in the Big Sky. So tread lightly, but I think they'll be fine. But watch out, Northern Colorado was a pretty good team in the Big Sky a season ago. They bring back some key players, but I will still say this one's going to be in Houston there. So this game's on ESPN Plus. What are you doing here?
I will take the home team. I like Northern Colorado, but yeah, I'll take the home team in the opener.
Well, then they head to Annapolis, Maryland to take on St. Joe's. This is part of I think all these games are at Navy. I forget what Veterans Classic, I believe it's called. St. Joe's kind of an up and down team in the past couple of years. Occasionally they're shine, but I think they're not going to stand a chance here against Houston. You?
Yeah, great event at the Veterans Classic in Annapolis, but yeah, no, I'm riding with Houston here.
Then we have an interesting one with Max Asmus. I know if you love college basketball, you will know that name, Max Asmus, has been a damn good player for a long time. It seems like at Oral Roberts, part of that Sweet 16 run where they almost went to the Elite Eight. Oral Roberts, any chance? I think they're a solid mid-major in the Summit League. However, I think Houston's just too much for them. I got the Cougs rolling. You?
Yeah, I love Max, but like you said, Houston's got too many athletes and bodies to throw at Max, so they'll wear him down throughout and get the W here.
And then Texas Southern comes to town. Don't look now, folks. Texas Southern did beat Florida in the Swamp last year. And I want to say they put a scare in somebody else that they played, but I got them taking care of Texas Southern. You agree?
Agreed.
Then a huge one on ESPN in Eugene. Awesome game. Circle this one, folks. On November 20th, that's a Sunday at Oregon. Houston at Oregon, going all the way up there to Eugene. This is a fantastic game. I got Houston winning this on the road. You?
Yeah, I got them winning probably a 1 to 2 possession game. I think this is a great non-conference game going all the way out to Oregon Sunday night. So, but I'll ride with the Cougars here.
That's another thing we should mention though, is I know Kelvin Sampson, he tried to schedule even more aggressively out of conference. It was a struggle for him. No one wants to play Houston because they know they're that good.
Yep.
So it also, I know people will say, oh, he didn't schedule much. Well, no one wants. It's almost like the thing with UCF or Boise in football. Boise used to be able to play, Georgia at a conference and Virginia Tech's at a conference and other schools that were really good. And then they were like, hey, we keep losing to Boise. Why are we doing this? Let's just play another school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And give them the same money and boom. Kent State comes to town. They're a decent squad in the MAC. If you watch MAC in basketball, Kent State keeps a good program. Kent State comes into Houston, Texas on Saturday, November 26th. Any chance for some action upset going on here?
No, Kent State just lost Maction football, so I got them losing to Maction basketball here too.
Subscribe to the College Football Experience. We got you covered on all your Maction Tuesday and Wednesday night football. I agree. And then Norfolk State comes to town. That's a for sure dub. I'm sure we don't even have to ask that one. We have them 7-0 in November, correct?
Correct.
And then this is an awesome game. At Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. Ah, man, I almost wish this was on campus in San Francisco or Houston. St. Mary's comes to town, or comes to Texas, I should say. St. Mary's lost a lot, and I think that is it's tall. It's you're asking a lot for them to beat Houston this year, and I think St. Mary's will still be a good program. Bennett keeps a good program there. I got Houston rolling St. Mary's. You?
Same, and you said it. Like whenever Bennett loses a bunch, it takes him a little bit through the non-conference to get his teams going in the end. But this is early enough where I think Houston rolls them. Yeah. And then North Florida, the Ospreys. Man, we just did the Gonzaga preview the other day. North Florida gets them. What are you doing to yourself, Ospreys? All right, that's gonna be a blowout. Okay, December 10th, they get the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now this one is intriguing because this is one I do feel like they could lose. They lost, didn't they lose a season ago in Tuscaloosa, if memory serves me correct? Questionable goaltending, right? Yes, and then Sampson's son was throwing the chair in the tunnel, and he had to apologize. That was that game. So this is a revenge spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Houston to get it done.
Yeah, me too. I think they're just too much in the revenge spot, and the game's in Houston instead of in Tuscaloosa.
Well, then they get North Carolina A&T. Shout out to Terrell Furman Jr., graduate of North Carolina A&T. Subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast. I got that should be an easy win though there in Houston, Texas. Then we got a big one. This one's awesome.
Here we go.
This one's awesome. Charlottesville, Virginia, Saturday, December 17th. Houston at Virginia. Whew. talk about contrast and styles too. Like, well, not really. Both great defensive teams, but like from an athletic standpoint, in a way, Virginia can win sometimes with not the most athletic team, where Houston's just athleticism everywhere. Man, I'm actually struggling to pick this one. You know what? Give me UVA with the win here. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I got this as their only non-conference loss, and you mentioned it in the Alabama thing, a revenge angle. This is a revenge game for Virginia. They got drilled in Houston last year, so I got the Wahoos getting their revenge in this one.
There we go. And then before Christmas, it was quiet in the house, and then McNeese State came to town.
Cowboys.
Yeah, that should be a blowout win against Joe Dumars' alma mater. Then conference play starts after Christmas. I told you we would talk the 2022 side of it. So there are 2 conference games going on in 2022. They are at Tulsa in the AAC season opener. I mean, any chance? I know Frank Haith is now gone. Eric Conkle's the new head coach, I believe, of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Any chance that Conkle goes big and gets a dub? You know, Conkle, I remember him because he was a George Mason assistant under Jimmy Larinaga back in the day. But most recently, he was the head coach of Louisiana Tech when they had just a season ago Kenneth Lofton. And while he was at La Tech, he actually never had a losing season. So something to keep an eye on with the Tulsa Golden Hurricane there. Any chance?
No, I'm taking Houston. I'm rooting for Conkle because, like you said, he's a George Mason guy, but not on December 28th. He's not getting it done.
And then they get a home game on New Year's Eve against Johnny Dawkins' UCF squad, who I think is going to be pretty good. But at the same time, I think Houston's just on such another level in the AAC. I could only see really one team in the AAC really pushing them. I think they'll be able to handle UCF, in Houston there on ESPN Plus. Any chance you got the Golden Knights with an upset there?
Not unless Taco Fall walks through that door. So no, I'm going Houston as well.
All right. And then you have the 2023 side of it. So we basically have them losing one game in 2022.
Yep.
One game. And I actually think there's a decent shot they're undefeated too. So keep an eye out on that matchup there in Charlottesville. I know maybe you could say the game in Eugene too, but all right. Before we talk 2023 Houston basketball, I want to tell you that we're brought to you by YouTube. Yes, we are on YouTube. The College Football Experience and the College Basketball Experience, 2 separate podcast feeds. Subscribe to both, but we come together as one on YouTube. YouTube.com/the College Experience. Subscribe. Tell a friend. We also have the College Baseball Experience in there too. Shout out to Noah Beanick. But we are all from the Sports Gambling Podcast, essentially. The SGPN started it. SGP started it, essentially, the Sports Gambling Podcast. And guess what? They're on YouTube, and they're giving you a chance to win your choice of either an autographed Lawrence Taylor jersey. I promise there will be no cocaine on the jersey. All right. Or an autographed Brian Dawkins jersey. All right. Contest is completely free to enter. We will do the cocaine before we'll do the cocaine off the jersey before we send it out in the mail. Just kidding. Subscribe to youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Comment on a video. Each video is a new chance to win. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss SGP contacting you when they pull the winner. So folks, get on over there. You get a free jersey. Come on. I just read a study about 10 months ago. You get a brand new piece of clothing, your chance of getting ass go up 10%. All right. Something to pay attention to. Just an idea. But shout out to that, because who would you go? Would you go LT or would you go Dawkins there?
Oh, LT, no doubt.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor. I mean, come on. He's not only that.
I think that's a stretch by Sean putting Dawkins in the same category as LT.
Very true. Like you probably got to go. Like, I don't even, maybe Randall Cunningham. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I still feel like LT's on another level. But yeah, you got to. Either way, you have the choice. It's free to enter, folks. You get a free jersey. It's signed to you, even if you don't like the Giants or the Eagles. Frame it, put it by your pool table, or you can flip it and sell it. All right. Come on. What are you doing, folks? All right. We're back talking Houston Cougar basketball. we're not going to go through every game, even though I feel like we already kind of almost did. But the 2023 side of things, okay. I'm curious if you see the AAC not known for their depth in basketball traditionally. I know this because I'm an East Carolina fan. All right.
Yeah. And
some years Cincinnati's been good, but really since AAC play started, Cincinnati ever since, I don't know. I'd say at first I was going to say since Bob Huggins left, but I mean, there were some other good years with Mick Cronin, but either way, Cincinnati's decent. UCF is decent. Temple hasn't been the same since Fran Dunphy left. Maybe it's a big year for them. Wichita State's normally good, but I feel like they're in a little bit of a rebuild. SMU's breaking in a new coach. ECU's breaking in a new coach. They're not good anyway, but maybe there's hope for us Pirate fans. South Florida hasn't been good in like 15 years. Tulsa under Frank Haith, that never worked out. They keep a decent program historically, but hasn't worked out. And then you have Memphis with Penny Hardaway. Oh, and I guess you could say Ron Hunter at Tulane seems to be getting Tulane better. I don't think they're still there yet, but doing a good job. Ron Hunter is. But then you have Memphis and Penny Hardaway, who I think is the only real competition for Houston. Yes, Houston still could lose they could have a hiccup game against the Temple or in Wichita or in at SMU or something. Sure. But it's not a lot of meat on the bone when you look at the AAC schedule. So I'm curious if you can find a 3-game stretch where you say, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, so I went back and looked like who they've lost to. 2 years ago, they lost at ECU, actually, the year with no fans.
That's right, baby.
But hey, that's still a W for your Pirates. and looking at last year, they got swept by Memphis, and they also lost at SMU. So traditionally, they do have a hiccup or two, and then maybe they split with Memphis just because Memphis is the only team that can match their talent. If I had to go a stretch, I'll probably go to the back-to-back road spot in February with Wichita and Temple, where you got to go from Kansas all the way to Philly. Now, before that, you probably just pair it with the Cincinnati home game. But, I mean, still, there should never be a stretch where they lose 2 in a row or 2 out of 3 with this schedule.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think, Cincinnati, Wes Miller seems to be getting Cincinnati better. I think it's a good hire.
Yeah.
So that January 28th home to Cincinnati, then at Wichita on February 2nd, then at Temple. It's a far trip. I mean, that's all around. I mean, from Wichita to Philadelphia, essentially in a 3-day stretch. Maybe you can talk me into the stretch February 25th because they got to go to Greenville where losses are given out. You know what I mean? So they go at ECU. That game's on ESPN2. Then home to Wichita for senior night, and then at Memphis. Maybe that would be the one. But yeah. So any chance that you think Houston does not win the AAC?
Maybe a small chance if they get banged up again and the guys behind them don't step up, but I don't see it happening. I see like 16-2 and they just run through this league. I'm looking forward to that Sunday, March 5th game though, where they got to end at the FedEx Forum, Memphis. That's a perfect game right before conference tournament play.
Yeah. And I'm quickly trying to, so Houston is minus 360 to win the conference regular season.
Yeah, it's telling you all you need to know.
I mean, the only other possible thing would be Memphis. I think Memphis is talented, but can they put it together?
Memphis just has so many moving parts.
Yeah, it doesn't seem the same. I think you got even with those odds.
Yeah,
Cougar fans, take your shots. All right. Well, so you think they'll be the 1 seed in the AAC, essentially, correct?
Yes.
The tournament. Yeah.
Yep.
Can they be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, and will they be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament?
I think so. I think they're going to be the final number 1 seed because I think if they win the regular season and the conference tournament and their only loss is Virginia, I think that won't be held against them, especially if they get that Oregon road win. So that's your marquee non-conference win and Alabama. So Yeah, no, I got them as a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
I think you're right. I mean, maybe the first 2 seed.
Yeah, 1 or 2 seed.
You know, I think you're right. What's the ceiling at Final Four, or you're gonna get even bolder and say national championship appearance?
I think the ceiling is national championship because the Final Four is in Houston this year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they can get there. I mean, we saw it last year when they played. Who was it? It was Arizona in Houston, or was it? It was San Antonio. It was in Texas somewhere.
Yeah,
and it was all Houston fans, and they just swarmed Arizona, and then ultimately lost to Villanova. But yeah, no, if they can get to the Final Four with that home crowd, they may be staying through Texas the whole NCAA tournament.
I wonder if the height will ever catch them though. Like I wonder.
Into Gonzaga.
Yeah, or not even that. Even Memphis.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not that I'm not talking about in the regular season. I'm talking about if you run into a team like that in the NCAA tournament that has height.
North Carolina.
I wonder if, obviously Carolina. You can go through. There's a few schools out there that really would say, wow, that height, could be an issue for them. It's going to be great to watch, though. I'm excited to watch Walker and Arceneaux, the freshman, and obviously Kelvin Sampson. Love Kelvin Sampson. Love what his comment when he went to the NBA with the Houston Rockets, where he was like, "Yeah, I was coach there, and I told this guy, come out and set the screen." This big man, he's like, "Coach, I'm not setting the screen. I'm just going to stay down there and get my rebounds because my contract incentive." And then he's like, "I resigned the next day because what the hell? I'm the coach. You know what I mean? Talk to me here." College basketball. That's where it's at, baby. Let's go. Folks, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. And also remember to give Ryan McIntyre a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. And check out the Ryan and Rush Show. Check out the NFL Gambling Podcast. But also remember, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We're talking Houston's kind of turned it around. Dana Holgerson, the used car salesman, turning it around. So check out the College Football Experience and College Basketball Experience. Once the season starts, folks, you're going to hear us every single night of the season. So November 7th, we do this every year. We handicap every single Division I college basketball game, but it's not all gambling based, even though we're good at it. We've never had a losing season. We also just talk best matchups we want to see, whether it's teams or whether it's players. So hop on in. I'm telling you, if you're brand new to college basketball, this is your gateway drug right here. Let's go. All right. And check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Get that SGPN app from the App Store, Google Play Store. Tons of great college basketball content will be out there, and just a ton of great sports stuff, no matter what your sport is. So do that. Also check out the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Come talk a little Kelvin Sampson hoops with us. All right, folks. This is the College Basketball Experience, Houston Cougar style. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Yeah, I got my car. I got my fit, y'all. Ready to go, y'all. Yeah. Come on and let me capitalize. Don't you know about the mammal's actual size? Gotta make the love rap again, cause it's wide. I'm everywhere, access never denied. Bold style like the 70s ride. Many people come to see the melody guy. I sell a lifestyle like you selling these fries. First to rise, I grab the burgers and fries, and Hurleyburg get the worm. The late ones too, but you original and true. Sky's the limit, my dude. Never lose sleep over who's doing the do. There's room for it all, ask the tip to the cue. When I'm a midnight marauder type of mic manipulator. Every day's an opportunity to place a wager. Never been a cage, I'm money hinged. Binge on a pursuit, go out on a limb. Never going out though, cause I'm in full effect, like I'm fully erect and going into it. Seeing I'm catching the wreck. I do my work, you dispatching a check like that, y'all. Like this, y'all. Like that, y'all.